Alright, welcome back everyone. Today, I am back, Patchy, after a long-awaited return to creating YouTube videos. If you haven't noticed, I have acquired a new microphone, and while the wait may be long-awaited, I can assure you that the quality shall stay the same. Now let's begin. So today, we're going to be playing as Bhutan. Now, I accidentally made Bhutan before Belgium like months ago, but I just decided that I wouldn't air that video, and then I'd make Belgium, and now I'm back to Bhutan because it's keep it in alphabetical order. So let's begin. So what you want to do as Bhutan is first you want to go political effort. You want to get that nice, sweet, juicy political power. Then you're going to go into your research, and you're going to get electronic mechanical engineering, and you're going to get yourself basic machine tools. Once you have achieved that, you can start building an airbase in the Bhutan province and then a military factory. You're going to start training up units. You're going to want 3 to start, should be good. And let's begin the game. Now, I may have been on a long hiatus, but it is for good reason. I may or may not have acquired a sinus infection that I didn't realize for a while, meaning that I had really bad headaches for a while, and I wasn't able to record videos. But I'm back, I'm feeling better, and I'm ready to start making some good YouTube videos. I am still going to do that video playing the new water mod, and I'm thinking that I might also maybe do some Kaiserite content in the future, and I'm definitely planning on playing some Victoria 2, which I've been meaning to do since me and Rex started the channel. Now, I'm just going to sit here a little bit, wait around, and when I got some news for y'all, I'll come right back. We have now finished political effort, and we are going to move on to collectivist ethos. Now that we have that added a little political power, we are going to definitely make use of that in a fascist demagogue. We're going to want to go fascist so that obviously, we can get all sorts of nice, juicy manpower, but also so that we can go down declaring war on some nations. I am going to now go and I will return once the next batch of research has finished. It wasn't too long. After we have now finished electronic mechanical computing, now we'll do the slightly less tongue-tying mechanical computing. And yeah, the next research will be done shortly. At this point in time, I have now completed a few next batches of research. I have completed collectivist ethos, and I'm starting the nationalism focus. I have achieved another 150 political power, and I have started concentrated industry and, as you saw, mechanical computing. With that 150 political power, you may be tempted to, say, boost to limited conscription, or maybe get a army expert, but I'm going to advise against that. What I'm actually going to instruct you to do is to go to free trade. Now, the reason that we're going to go to free trade is because, as you can see, free trade gives you a lot of bonuses. Compared to export focus, it gives you another 5% construction speed, it gives you another 5% research speed, 15% factory output, and, 5% factory output compared to export focus, and the dockyard output doesn't really matter too much. And intelligence doesn't really affect us because, we're going to be invading Tibet and Nepal, who don't exactly have the largest intelligence infrastructure. Another thing that you'll notice is that we have been building some infantry units. We've built 3. That is about all that you'll need. Depending on the amount of manpower you get before the war with Tibet, you could possibly build 4. But what is really going to steal the show is the paratroopers, which I will get to in a moment. To point out, once you're done with the nationalism focus, make sure that you begin industrial effort. Do not go down militarism. We need these military factories as soon as possible. Once you have finished researching your first military factory under the armaments side of the focus tree, make sure that you start building transport planes. You are going to need these because, as I said earlier, we are going to be using paratroopers. These paratroopers will be dropping throughout Tibet and Nepal in order to achieve, shall we say, political balance within the upper Himalayan plateau. Yep, we are definitely... Oh, wait. Before I go, because you're not going anywhere. I'm going places, though. We do want to modify our government, because we have achieved another 150 political power. Now, we are still only at 32 fascist, and I have already opened political discourse, so we do have one more political power use left before we start going fascist. So we must use this well and use it wisely. Now, one thing that I normally do is I'll get myself a military theorist. But another couple options that you could take is you could possibly go a popular figurehead, because stability gives you political power gain, decreases consumer goods, increases factory output and dockyard output. And in my opinion, having high stability is one of the best things that you can have in Hoi4, of course after having high war support. But I do still think that having enough, army experience in order to modify our paratroopers will be useful, so I'm still going to go for the military theorist. Another thing that I would like to point out is that it is crucial that you are researching paratroopers as well as interwar fighters early on. You are going to need both of those for this strategy, as it is required that you have aerial superiority in order to paratroop. So we're going to start producing interwar fighters, but theoretically, since Tibet and Nepal have no air force, you only really need one fighter to have aerial superiority, but I like to just make a few just in case the AI decided to build like anti-air per se. Okay, once I have finished my next round of important things, I will return to you with an update. Once you have finished Armament Effort 3, you can now begin militarism so that we can get that manpower that we covet. Also, another thing is that once you have reached 40% popularity for fascist, because you only have one other party in the nation, the Wangchuck dynasty ruling party, what you can do is once you're at 40%, you can discredit the government in order to be more than 50% fascist. And now, bish bash bosh, we are fascist in, I wouldn't say the fastest way possible, but pretty fast considering that we are a one-province minor. At this point in time, you have more than 10 army experience. You do not need to be training your troops anymore, and make sure that you are assigning as many factories as possible to producing transport planes. It is crucial that you have enough transport planes by the start of the war. Okay? Once I have finished my next set of production, I think that I might start laying out my strategy to you. Also, another thing that's important to note is once you have 48 political power, you can begin to justify on Tibet. So once you get 48 political power, make sure that you do that. Once you have finished researching paratroopers, which you should have done about this time, or you won't have enough time to build up before the time to declare war passes, it is time that we, as I'm about to put forward, develop our paratroopers. We're going to want to remove 2 of the paratrooper units so that there's only 1 in there. And also another thing that I totally forgot is that you get 20 army experience for militarism, so there's really no need for this military theorist. You could use that money on going to limited conscription, for example, or possibly getting that popular figurehead that I was talking about earlier. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build paratroopers. You only need 8 to do this, so I'm going to build 8 paratroopers. Now, you don't also need any generals, really. You can get generals, but it doesn't really matter for this strategy because everything is happening so fast as Bhutan. So, let's get on with the video. Or, well, whatever this is. I mean, like, that seems like a very weird thing to say, but whatever. Okay, so we have achieved our next 150 political power, but I just noticed that we've run into an issue. Our leader, is a humble appeaser. Now, what that means is, as you can see here, he gives us extra stability, which is great, but he decreases war support, which is not so great. Which means that we can't really go to limited conscription. So, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do exactly, so I'm just going to hope and see, and potentially maybe world tension will increase a little bit and we'll be able to go back up to 10%, and then obviously increase our conscription law, or else we'll never really be able to field the paratroopers that we require. So, fingers crossed, hopefully it increases. Okay, world tension has now increased enough that we can go to limited conscription. Hopefully we will have enough time to mobilize before the war with Tibet comes, but I am confident that we will be able to do so. Also notice that I have now gone down the construction line, and I'm going to be attempting to achieve an extra research slot. Alright, we have now finished the justification for war against Tibet, but if you notice, we still don't have enough manpower in order to, well, deploy these units. So we're going to do something interesting. First things first that you can do is you could take one unit out of this infantry. Or what you could do is you can just auto-deploy them. Because, well, you don't need full manpower to deploy paratrooper, or really any divisions actually for that matter. So, you know, there you go. The more you know. Now, one thing that we are going to do is... Ooh, that's not so good. I just noticed that we have only 6 transport planes and we require 8. However, we do have until the 29th of March to, how should we say, achieve this goal. So one thing that I am going to do is, because we do need manpower to deploy our airplanes, is I am still going to remove one division from the infantry division so that we do have manpower, because, well, we require manpower. So, yeah. But, once we have gotten enough transport planes, I will get right back to you. Hopefully, we're able to get enough before the 29th of March, but I'm confident that we will be able to do it. Now, at this point, another thing that you could look into doing is, assuming that you don't have a humble appeaser, you could go to early mobilization. But since I have a humble appeaser, I'm probably just going to go for, like, the popular figurehead, or one of these other guys. Possibly even I'm going to go for the defense guy, or the maneuver guy. You can really do whatever you want, but assuming that you don't have a humble appeaser, definitely get the early mobilization. Okay, so we now have 8 transport planes, so we're going to deploy them. We're going to deploy our fighters as well, because we need them to control the skies, and I'm going to show you how we're going to go about what is called assigning the paratroopers. I am going to just assign some generals because it makes me feel good. So we're going to give the paratrooper guy this schmuck, and we'll give the military guys, we'll give him this guy, and we'll give we'll make, who's left? We'll make, this guy the field marshal. Seems okay. Now, in order to do paratrooper orders, you first of all have to have an airport that has transport planes in it. As you can see, we have an airport with transport planes in it because, well, we built an airport. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the guy that has the paratroopers in it. We're going to select this little button right here, paratroop order. We're going to left click on the province that has the airport with the transport planes in it, as you've seen here, and then this thing will come up. Now, anywhere that's green is a place that you can drop paratroopers. We're going to want one in Lhasa, and then in order to get out of this little screen here, you can hit escape 2 times, or you can hit this button here. So I'm going to opt with the escape button first, and then we'll just repeat. So click, left click, right click, and then you can either hit this button again, or you can hit escape twice. I'm just going to repeat that over and over again until I have placed all of the orders. Okay, once you have placed 8 paratroop orders in provinces of your choice, except for these 2, because, well, there's already units there, what you want to do is you want to assign paratroopers to these things. Now, you could go and do the annoying thing of clicking this button and selecting a paratrooper and then clicking on one of the things, or what you could do is you could select a paratrooper, hit Control, and then just click And now you have a paratrooper selected there. So I'm just going to go through and assign paratroopers. But make sure that you still have one paratrooper on this first order. So we can set those guys to go. And when the war begins, we want these guys that you see right here to attack these guys that you see here. Because, well, we don't want these guys to move at all because they're going to try and move and invade. So, yes, we can now declare this war. So we're going to declare the war. Make sure that our planes are in the sky, which is something that I forgot to do. Make sure that these guys are going. We'll take these two guys in attack and these two guys in attack. Okay. Whoops. Come on. I forgot to let these guys move. Damn it. Are they gonna make it? They better make it. Yep, there we go. Okay. They did make it. That was a little bit close. I got a little bit silent there, but we're good. We're good. We made it. Now, what we're going to do is in this peace deal, we're not going to take Tibet because Tibet has a lot more population than us, and we'll just use all of our population, assuming that you have the La Resistance DLC, and even without La Resistance, I think you still have to use the new mechanic of occupation. So we're going to puppet them, which, even though you don't get any of their factories, well, Tibet doesn't really have any factories. So we're going to puppet them, and then we can take all their manpower and all their units, and we don't have to spend any of our manpower and units garrisoning them. So we're just going to puppet them like that. Now, one thing that I forgot to do, but it's no big deal, because really there's no rush to do anything as Bhutan, because, well, let's just say you've got the whole world pretty much to yourself over here. We're going to justify on Nepal. Now, what you're going to do, and the reason that I did 8 paratroopers instead of 7, because you only need 7, assuming that you take Lhasa, to capitulate Tibet. I just do the 8th one just in case one of the paratroopers doesn't make it to the place that he's trying to go, assuming that you had what I happened right there, and you screwed up, and you dicked up, and maybe you're bad at Hoi like me, but I'm really not that bad, but I think I'm bad, but, you know what, rant over. We're going to do the same thing again on Nepal. So once that justification for war is done on Nepal, I will be right back. Alright, so after me sitting here staring at a screen for an extended period of time doing absolutely nothing, we're back. Well, I'm back. You're still there. You're still watching. You've never left because there's only been like a split-second break where the scene changed. However, we're back. Or I'm back. I don't know, is this all a time paradox? Anyways, we're going to finally declare war on Nepal, the long-awaited climax to the anime. I know, so exciting, right? No, not really. This is gonna be really easy, because Nepal is a joke, watch. Bam, boom, yeah, woo! That was like, what, that took a day? Gam? Yep, there we go. And we've now puppeted Paul. So that's cool and all, but now you might be wondering, wait a second, Patchy, what are you supposed to be doing now? You've conquered Tibet, you've conquered Nepal, but, like, you're not really able to beat China, and, like, so what do you do? Well, there's a few ideas that I've come up with. Obviously, you could attack China, but that's assuming that Japan's doing well, and in the latest patch, I find that Japan has been doing not exactly so well, and I started developing the Bhutan strategy about, like, 3 months ago. This took a while, if you haven't noticed. And Japan used to do much better against China, so it went really well, but now it's not going so well. So I've come up with a few ideas. One idea that you could possibly, or one strategy you could possibly take, is if the Axis is beating the Allies really horrifically, you could potentially declare war on India and easily eat up India and puppet them and do all that fun stuff. Another option is that you could potentially go communist, and you could join the Comintern, and if once they've won World War II, which will take a while, but remember, Bhutan, as I've said, is the long game, you could then declare war on China with the aid of Russia. However, all of this is arbitrary and will take an extremely long time, and I don't feel like spending 5 hours of my time staring at a screen waiting for World War II to end, so I'm going to leave you all off there. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this with a friend if you did enjoy it. You can watch any of our other videos that you probably will be seeing on screen right now, including probably one of my most popular ones, the Afghanistan video that I am still sad and depressed that I made because it makes my eyes bleed. But that's it for me today. I will see y'all next time. Patchy Monger, out.